Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're testing out Sharon Rogers' new white Sirius armor. First, without any sort of Obelisk or CTP, and then we're gonna move into the regular Obelisk territory and do that whole thing. So the big change for Sharon is that she loses the iframe on 4, which is actually good for accumulation. And instead, she replaces that with a blaster skill that has invincibility. There we go. She just used it to dodge the cage. You can dodge the cage pretty easily with it. The proc you're seeing there that's activating is the insight from what's her name, Wave. The one big thing about this uniform change is that you're not going to be able to combo with those purple circles against Null specifically, but otherwise you're fine. And the really good thing about this uniform, so the bad thing is you're not going to be able to play that knockback, right? Because the invincibility that she gets on 4 makes her, as you can see, she's immune to the knockback, right? So I don't get knocked back. But hey, if you hated that knockback, this is great for you. This is a huge win for you, huge dub. Because some players just weren't able to use that knockback to their advantage, let's be honest. And it just doesn't work out in their favor. So we're going to end up finishing this in about a minute 15. There we go. Really good. This is stage 19 without an Obelisk, using just the wave buffs. The wave leadership, the wave support, and the wave insight. Quasar's not doing anything, and we just have 5 ignore dodge strikers. This is really, really good. But how does this match up to the old uniform? This is the first thing that people are going to ask, right? Because people have been rocking the Star Knight armor for a long time. It's been over a year. So fair enough, let's go back and do that. Now, the one thing I will acknowledge, the one big difference in these two uniforms is that you have to play the Star Knight uniform differently. So there's nothing I can say or do to sort of get around that. I have to get knocked back, I have to walk into this purple circle and then do that. Otherwise, I'm not going to get the maximum amount of accumulation. Now, for those of you that have gotten used to playing Sharon this way, where you're like purposely getting hit, you're not gonna have a bad time at all. Okay, there we kind of fudged up, but let's see what happens. Actually, you know what, let's reset it. We shouldn't have wasted the tier 3. We should have used the co-op skill first. But basically that's essentially what it comes down to with these uniforms, I think. I mean, I do think the new uniform, ultimately, if I'm going to summarize it, I do think the new uniform is going to be better. It's going to have more damage, but you may see less of a difference, especially if you don't have Pierce, especially if you don't have a CTP on Sharon, especially it's like a CTP of energy, because the extra chain hit damage that she gets from the new uniform, even though it's only 5%, right, it stacks up with the existing extra chain hit she's getting from other sources. So we're going to go ahead and use the co-op skill here and then pop right into the tier 3, which is basically what I did with the new uniform. But yeah, so if you weren't ever good at playing... I got stunned? If you weren't ever good at playing Sharon in this way, where you're getting hit intentionally, then you know, you're really happy for the new uniform, because the new uniform is going to take away all that trouble. But if you got used to it, you may be able to just wait until Black Friday. So we're actually able to skip both cages there. We're a little bit behind on the damage. We haven't accumulated quite as much. This should really catch us up here. Yeah. So there you can see, even though it's a little bit behind, we just popped 1 tier 3. We end up being about 5 seconds off. We actually might not even... This might have been... Was it 339 for the other one? I can't remember. But you can see that they're very, very similar, right? But again, you're adjusting your playstyle not tremendously. You're adjusting your playstyle quite a bit for this uniform. Whereas with the new uniform, it's much more straightforward. And especially because it's the two-pronged combination. I didn't really talk about this in the first video, but it's really the two-pronged combination of her 4th skill giving her invincibility, so she will not get knocked back by Null and another sort of knockback effects. And it also is not an iframe, which means you're accumulating damage, you're accumulating damage, you're accumulating damage. There's no iframes now on 3, 5, and 4. So you can accumulate damage the entire time. Obviously, if you use the iframe on 4 to like dodge certain attacks, that's not going to be possible anymore. But as long as your Sharon is tanky enough, that accumulation is just going to play into her favor. So even though this is a less complicated rotation, you can actually play this rotation even more slowly. I mean, as long as you don't miss your proc, because of the fact that you don't have to worry about pressing 4 and then going into an iframe and losing your accumulation, unless they're using an iframe ignore skill. If they're using an iframe ignore skill, it usually does a lot of damage, so you want to be careful. But anyways, I don't see a lot of difference. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't see at stage 9, at stage 19. I even went up to stage 25. Okay, I tested at multiple different levels. I'm not going to bother you in this video with all of that testing. But I screenshotted it. I posted it on Discord. I tested at stage 25, which is female. That's why we have Quasar, right? And we just swap over Deathlock for Quake again. You can't use Quake on 19 because she's an Inhuman. So I tested on 25, and the times were so similar. Again, this is without an Obelisk. So without an Obelisk, I can say that it's not a very noticeable difference in damage. There is a noticeable difference in the playstyle. I feel like this is a more technical playstyle, and this is a more relaxed playstyle. But now let's see what happens when we give her an Obelisk, a damage proc, and then we'll move into a CTP of energy, possibly in this video. All right, so it's not too crazy, but we're going to give her this lightning resist crit damage 120 proc. Just to recap the build here really quickly before we jump into more content. She's essentially capped on all the important stats, minus movement speed and crit rate, but she gives herself 35% or 25% crit rate with her 5th skill. We've got 4 Odin's Blessings. We've got 1 crit damage and 2 and 3 of the just energy attack to bump up her stats to 61,000 energy attack. And then we've got a stage 12 overdrive with the mythic uniform. Just to recap as well on the uniform options, I forgot about this. We've got Brawn, Spider-Man Infinity War, Carnage Miles Morales, Professor X, and then Mr. Fantastic Maker. Honestly, I think this is one of the weirdest uniform options for a character. Yeah, these two especially kind of hurt. So I can understand why people are not happy with that. But anyways, so sticking with stage 19, I want to see 2 things. If this uniform can utilize and leverage that Obelisk more than the old Sharon Rogers uniform. And 2, how much faster we're going to be with an Obelisk versus nothing here. So we're going to get snared a bunch of times. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, good stuff. Very nice. There we go, leveraging that Obelisk. And now you get a glimpse into how good Sharon is. how absolutely busted Sharon Rogers is in general. Okay, yeah. I procced early, that's my bad, I think. Actually, I don't know if I don't think I procced early. And the other cool thing is, so see there, I didn't get knocked back. So the other cool thing about this uniform is it gives you the opportunity, or it gives you the option to do 3 cancel, 5 cancel, 4 cancel, 6. Now you're probably wondering, why would you do 4 cancel 6? Well, 1, you can charge up your tier 3 with 4 cancel 6. 2, she doesn't move during the 4th skill, so it's easier to cancel into 6, whereas with the 4th skill, she actually does this big movement, and sometimes movement skills are harder to cancel into other skills. Talk to Captain America Falcon for more information. And the third and most important reason why you would do 4 cancel 6 is because 4 gives her the invincibility, which makes her not get knocked back. And he actually just, if you rewind the tape and you go and look, he just tried to knock me back, and he wasn't able to. And he could have interrupted my tier 3 skill. So if you get your tier 3 skill interrupted a lot, again, it's a possibility that this uniform is going to make your life a lot easier. We ended up doing that one in 53 seconds. Very fast. Let's go ahead and see. I don't expect the old uniform to be much slower, to be honest with you, but let's go ahead and see. It does require, I'm sort of putting my Sharon Rogers playing chops on the table here. It does require a pretty steady hand. Got to also switch characters, Alex. So we're going to do this. A lot of people think I shouldn't do 5 until after I've gotten hit, but it really doesn't matter, as you can tell. Here we're going to squeeze in this, we're going to delay, and then we're going to proc on 4. No accumulation, but we do dodge the cage and proc on the co-op. which is really, really nice. Can't ask for more there. We popped the tier 3, bigboydamage.com, or big girl damage, I should say. We're gonna get hit by this cage. We also triggered our proc. Okay, so we're just gonna fluff here with some skills, get knocked back a little bit for some accumulation, pop the trunk, go into this combo again, and we did not proc our proc, which is excellent, and we are done. And look at that, a photo finish the exact same time. So this is what I'm trying to say, guys. This is what I'm trying to say. I can't really notice. I'm not really noticing the biggest bump. And again, you may, okay, maybe I played this Sharon perfectly. This is actually a really cool screenshot because she's like floating there. Maybe I played this Sharon perfectly, and maybe I missed a proc or two with the new Sharon, the other Sharon. But like, how much faster is that going to be? 5 seconds faster? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really think this is going to change a lot, or not. I really think. I'm thinking that maybe this is you're gonna see a bigger bump when you switch to a CTP, but with an Obelisk at this point, you can probably, with the amount of Pierce that I have, you could do stage 25 with an Obelisk. That's crazy. Again, very few characters can do that at all. You know, unless they're doing like double, triple buff type stuff. So Sharon remains an insane character. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna leave it to further testing. I know you guys wanted like a final verdict in this video. I'm not gonna give you guys my final verdict yet, but I think my opinion is shaping up as follows. It's shaping up. It hasn't fully formed yet. It hasn't dried. Okay, but if I was shaping the clay, you know, doing the whole ghost thing, this is my opinion. I think these uniforms are very similar in damage. Obviously, this uniform is going to be a little bit better because it's got a little bit more chain hit, right? But again, it might not be an amount that you can notice at my level. Maybe when you have 0 pierce, you notice it a lot more. Maybe with the CTP of energy, with 30% more chain hit, you notice it even more. I don't know. It's the difference between 40% chain hit and 45% chain hit when you're talking about a 200 proc CTP of energy. But I think their damage levels are going to be similar. It's really going to come down to the playstyle. If you like this playstyle and you've gotten used to it and you are good at it, right? If you've gotten used to it, if you like it, and if you're good at it, then you can probably wait until at least Black Friday to get this uniform and get it at a steeper discount. It's 40% off now. It'll be 50% off there. Then, and then secondly, if you hate this playstyle, if you're not used to it, if you don't like it, if you get knocked back and it's frustrating and you get your tier 3 interrupted, yada, 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 or if you don't, you know, you're not good at hesitating on the 5 to go into the 4 to accumulate, right? If you press those buttons at the wrong times, or you accidentally you wait too long to press 4 and you accidentally let your proc activate, this uniform is going to be much better for you. So it took me a long time to learn how to play Sharon. If this new uniform had came out a year ago, which obviously would have been like 6 months later, it would have been really, really soon, but I probably would be much more impressed with this uniform than I am now. But I've had a lot more time to master Sharon Rogers, so I'm not as inclined to just be like, oh my god, this is the best uniform ever, oh boy, kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, hopefully that makes sense to you. I don't think it's a bad uniform at all. I just think this is a incremental buff, and most of all, it is a buff to people who hated or didn't really ever master the play style of I'll let you hit me and then I'll hit you accumulation. So yeah, I will do one more video on Sharon with the CTP of energy. I'll show you just how far she can go. My guess is a stage 34 solo. By the way, in case you're wondering, a stage 34 blast solo. She's actually not available for null after that. I may even show off some Mephisto. We might do Mephisto and null because she's available up to 34 on Mephisto. So we may do a 34 Mephisto and a 34 null, which is actually really cool. Yeah, we'll do that with an energy, and if this uniform keeps up with an energy, I'll keep you posted on that. If this uniform starts to break away with an energy, I'll keep you posted on that as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.